sure I got signal. There we go. Cool. First thing I want to do is thank you for that last round of tour dates you did, where you played all of your old stuff.
Oh,
the
cool,
first
cool.
3 albums.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I dug that.
Yeah.
And I hope it was as fun for you guys as it was for us.
Yeah, I mean, are we filming?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, just going back and playing stuff that was like we wrote 25 years ago. It's not something we're going to do all the time. So that was kind of special, just going back and playing that. And it was a good time, you know, especially because it's been that long. There's a lot of people that probably have recently bought those records and just discovered it. And they're like, hey, I'll be playing that stuff again. I mean, so, I mean, just like with any other band that's been around, like the bands that I like Judas Priest or the Scorpions or Iron Maiden or whatever, and when they come back and they play, you know, that a certain record, that's cool.
Yeah.
So.
What's really nice is you didn't need to do that because your last album is so tight, so good.
Well,
you know,
the reasons behind it wasn't so much that we just chose that. We were actually scheduled to be touring with a new record, and we didn't really want to cancel the tour.
Right.
So we were like, you know, we can't just go on tour again and play the same set. So, and actually, it was funny because a lot of the promoters thought, you know, wow, that would even be cooler, because that's not something that you're going to be doing all the time. So.
Yeah. I've been reading. I've followed your posts. I've been reading that there is a new album coming.
Yes.
How far along is it? Is it completely done? Are you almost done?
We're still working on it. I would say probably realistically we're about halfway done. You know, it depends on how it could just come to us and be done when I get home, or you know, you hit certain obstacles and, you know, different shows come up and tours and but you know, I think the juices are starting to flow now, so because it's been so long and we've been kind of, you know, busting our balls and trying to just get this record done, and I think we're kind of getting it back into the whole vibe of what we really want to do, you know, because I mean, we're on our 11th record, we're into this like 25-30 years now. It's kind of like there's so many bands doing what we do, our style of music, and I think when a band like us, when you've been around this long, you don't want to just put out the same thing, you know, you don't want to do like a cookie cutter kind of thing and just like, let's just copy what we did before. It's got to really, for me, it's got to come from the heart. So that's why it's so.
How do you?
I think everybody will be stoked when it comes out. So,
if you considered your last album kind of like a throwback to what vintage Testament sound was, what would you maybe put in as a preamble for this new album? Do you feel like it's going to be more of that style of throwback, or are you trying to do some different stuff?
See, that's where, you know, as far as like when we approach a record, like, okay, so when you're beginning, you're just evolving, you're not thinking about it. But once you get to a certain plateau, you start going, okay, do we want to sound like our older stuff, or are we going to do something like the new bands are doing now? Like, you know, man, you guys got to sound like this, you're going to do this, or do that. So I think where we're at is we're kind of choosing what record we want to sound like.
Okay.
And then when I go to write songs, they don't sound like that. Because it's just like, you can't do that. You know, who knows what I was doing or what I was thinking when I wrote that. You know, I won't really tell you what I was doing. But, so, I mean, it's going to come out, you do your best of what you're into at the times. And I really like what I'm creating right now. It's, you know, it's more, the stuff that I've written so far is a lot more thrashy.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chuck is kind of on the edge of what he wants to do, death vocals or clean vocals, or I prefer when he's more of a singing style and using the death stuff to throw it over the fence. And that's kind of where we're at with everything.
Okay.
So it's going to be good.
Cool. Well, of course it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Testament.
Thank you.
What would you say is the first band that you got really, really into when you were a teenager, that you were religious about, bought everything?
Probably Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I mean, Judas Priest, I remember when I was a big Judas Priest fan forever, and then Iron Maiden came out, and I thought it was their first record, so I didn't know if they were punk rock or metal.
Right.
Because they kind of had that, you know, like Phantom of the Opera part and stuff, but when Killers came out, it was just like, that was like religion.
Yeah.
You know, that was just, for me, that was it. And I think there's a band that really, I mean, there's so many bands after that, the whole British heavy metal wave that came out, that was a big influence on me. But the band that made me go, I want to be in a band, was Metallica. Metallica, when they came out, it kind of just like made me go, because I wasn't in a band yet, and I had all these riffs and all these ideas. When I seen them live, I was like, now I know what to do with all these ideas, because it was just about playing a little bit faster and, you know, thrashing out. And I mean, I got to see them when they first came here, not here, but San Francisco, with Ron McGovern and Dave Mustaine and stuff, and that was just like awesome.
Nice.
So, Metallica. They're still killer, man.
They are still killer.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a sentimental person?
Oh yeah.
Being I mean, you're like your OG for Testament. You're 30 years, right?
Yeah.
When you look back on
I
that
mean, this is my
30 years,
only band. I mean, it's my original band.
Did you think that was going to happen? That there would be your only band, it would be a lifer in Testament?
Not really. You know, I thought for sure. I mean, I wasn't that great of a guitar player when I started out, so you know, I thought I definitely had a lot of lessons to learn and and whatnot. But I guess what maybe set me apart and just getting hooked up with Alex and Chuck and everybody was I was the kind of guitar player that I didn't like learn everybody's song. I couldn't figure that stuff out, so I made up my own songs. And so my voice is going out.
No worries.
So yeah.
Cool. When you reflect back on your time in Testament, is there a moment that you consider to be the pinnacle, like the best, the most amazing thing that's happened to you in the band?
Shit. I mean, you know, we've definitely had some good times.
Right.
I would say definitely a good, you know, as far as thinking back, I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I think when we kind of we did the reunion thing, and we toured, we were supposed to just do like 14, 15 shows with the original lineup, and it turned into like 2 years. I mean, it just kind of escaped us. Like, wow, we're like, what happened to this 2 weeks we were supposed to do? It's like, it's been a year and a half now. We ended up getting a new record deal with Nuclear Blast, which was looking out for us for a long time, trying to sign us. And, you know, just doing the formation, that was like a cool, you know, like a total second coming, just come back, throwback. That was awesome.
Right on. And when you are...
And we're on this cycle again, you know, we're just trying to keep up with it, so.
When you're touring, and you toured a lot, you must feel like you've mastered the art of touring. Like, it's down to a fine art. There's really, you know, a certain way things can go. Do you find that you're still surprised when you're on the road? Things kind of, you know, will happen, will screw up your mojo, will make you feel like you're not having a great show or having an awesome show?
Yeah, I think, you know, I think as far as like mojos and all that good stuff, I find touring for me is better when we're on tour. We're in the shows rolling along and we're playing shows one after another. Then it just starts boom, boom, boom. Not to put a curse on this show, but one-offs can throw me off a little bit, because sometimes we don't get the crew that, I mean, you know, the roadies are a big part of the show too. If you don't have your guys that you're used to having, and you got these different people, you know, it could throw everything off. You know, one guy not knowing how to, you know, turning the vocals up too loud or, you know, in your ears, you're just like, ah. So, you know, we're kind of going off some luck today.
How many Heavy Montreals have you done?
I was told I did 4. I remember the last one.
Right.
So